Well, it certainly seems that Granidaria has the right idea. Even though her son-in-law and her daughter are in Minea, I think Granidaria should probably stay in Barbados. That's what Adol is thinking now. Anyway, we've made it to this town, Sibek. He greets the first person that he finds, who introduces himself as Old Man the Hun. He mentions something about two goddesses who saved the country from a great cataclysm. He seems to be a great storyteller, that's for sure. He mentions this because what's on his mind, of course, is the monsters, and Adol doesn't blame him. And meets over to Granny Tobe, who informs Adol of about a thieves' den that was built near the Doma Tower. Why they're there, she doesn't know. But Adol considers it. This is a very, very rustic, much more rustic than the port town of Barbados. But still, it's pleasant. Oh. She talks to the woman, whose house this must belong to. And she straightaway talks about her missing husband. Luta. Indeed, he's certainly not inside. Where could he be? There's a lovely chicken that walks by the well. Makes a great sound. And there's other chickens around here. A woman named Palma that Adol meets by the well tells him about the mayor. He seems to have strange behaviors about giving thieves everything he owns. What was it about? Another woman nearby named Demi speaks of an old woman named Jeba. And how, again, the island of Asteria was ruled by two goddesses. Adol wonders if Luta and the mayor are the same person, but decides that if they probably would have been mentioned by this point, considering how much information he's gathered. He approaches the old man to greet him. Old Man Cronin, who again mentions the two goddesses. These two goddesses must be very important to this village. Looks like they have not forgot the power of the sacred in here, in this place. And that they do indeed pray to the goddess statues. However, the omens are not understood by the villagers. When Adol is invited into this house, he sees an old granny sitting in a chair. She looks at him deeply and pensively. He's not quite sure what to make of her, but thinks that this is an important conversation that he should have. She mentions the fortune teller, mysteriously before she even introduces herself. But then pleasantries are exchanged, and Adol then finds out that this woman's name is Jebba, who asks him about the Book of Ys. Shrine key has been obtained. Adol graciously accepts it to see what he can find about in the shrine where this book belongs. The Solomon Shrine, it seems. The lower levels, huh? I see. My preparations are indeed very low. I don't feel very confident right now with my meager equipment. When old Granny is taking a walk in the woods, Adol decides to talk to her, who warns him against the haunted mountain and the shrine on top of it. We're doomed never to return again. Adol then talks to an old man who talks to him about thieve, the guild leader. Yes, there do seem to be a lot of the elderly here, and so far they seem to be well protected. Apparently, according to the Silver Bell. It is an interesting reason. I wonder why. Adol is invited in by Linda, and they have a conversation about the thieves that have been rampant lately. Especially towards Minea. Adol talks to her son, whom of course Adol, like with all children, is quite interested in. And of course, the child gives him a very good advice on where to appreciate the sun. In the western fields, there are two giant trees, west of the old mine and towards the south. Adele remembers seeing one before, but didn't find anything interesting otherwise about it. Apparently, they have delicious fruit around these trees. Adele would like to try it at some point, as he's looking for more hidden details about what's happening on the island. Where did the mayor go? Is it Utah? And of course, the leader of the thieves, otherwise known as Goban. That seems to be the situation. The village is not very large, but it is certainly very cozy looking. There is no clinic here either. And there's also no way to find any equipment. If Adol decides to go further, he must ponder his choices very carefully. Perhaps he should return and see if he can get some better equipment. Or perhaps he should see what's up ahead. Decisions. decides to proceed and retreat if necessary. So far, so good. Mountains look dangerous, especially with these monsters on the loose. He doesn't know what these things are. Decides to take a look around. He sees the shrine, of course, which looks marvelous, if not old. But at the same time, shadowy soldiers that are wandering around don't give Adol a lot of confidence about how protected it might be. There could be many more monsters inside. It's also the situation with the thieves, who apparently are camped near the shrine. Perhaps he should take a look and see if he can find out anything more about them. It looks like he's found the thieves' hideout. At least, that's what he assumes this place to be. Could it be the thieves' den? Adol quietly sneaks up towards the door to see if he can hear any voices inside, but being unable to hear anything, he decides to plunge in. Only to be met with the very thieves, very quietly watching him, discerning his motives, and Adol trying to do the same. He decides to talk to the nearby man, who looks very imposing, certainly. He doesn't say a word. So, unfortunately, Adol has no choice but to confront the person at the table. The thieves' den. Decides to speak to the man. Gives him a stark warning. Adol retreats. He is not interested in a confrontation with thieves, for really he has no reason to. However, another thief, a green-haired one, is more talkative, and introduces himself as Lugan. He talks about a bandit who is not part of the Thieves' Guild, somewhere on this island. Adol decides to leave. He has no business with thieves in general, and doesn't really know why they're here in the first place. His real objective, of course, is to find out more about the legends of Ys, the legends that perhaps could be found in the shrine. He returns to the shrine as quickly as possible, wanting to draw no further attention from the thieves, and enters it. According to the elderly back in the Zebek village, very few leave this shrine once they enter. Obviously, Adol can just leave and nothing would probably happen, but he knew what they meant. After exploring, of course. You see several statues of the goddess, 3 on the left and 3 on the right. He notices that one of these statues seems to be made of some kind of material different from the others, while 5 of these statues seem to be made of some kind of limestone or marble. The 6th one looks to be made of something else, and as he approaches it, his mind races across time and space to go only to re-emerge in a completely new place. Magic? He approaches it again. It happens. His mind races across time and space. Adol ponders this new discovery. Is this the reason? Is this the reason no one escapes? But I was able to get back. I could probably even leave. He pursues. And takes a look around. He finds a chest. Perhaps the book is inside? He decides to check. But unfortunately, it doesn't budge. It could very well be in there. But unfortunately, Adol is not a thief, and doesn't have skills with which to open it. I'll have to think about that for a while. An empty room. The passages are dark, dank, and filled with moss. You can just see it on the walls. This place has not been inhabited for a long time. Another chest. Is this locked too, or is the book inside? A ruby. He examines the ruby closer. A ruby set in a gold. It looks flawless. It's practically ovular, like an egg that one might find in a sparrow's nest. Of course, the shrine key that allowed me to get into the shrine. Or at least, that was what I was told. I don't actually remember using it, Adol thought. And then, of course, Sarah's crystal she gave me. I wonder if any of these items are assisting me now. Adol thinks about this, but doesn't notice anything. There's no monsters in there. At least that's good. The passages are winding. It's like a maze. Adol hopes he remembers the way out. But the passages go down dead-end corridors. Until he sees a door. What could be inside? He braces himself. Maybe this is where the key is used. Maybe I need the crystal for this door. He tries both of them and realizes that it's the shrine key that he needed to use. The door opens. What's inside? He notices a magic circle. Clouds of smoke and mist expand and converge towards the center. The design is unusual. The material, even more so. Decides to give a wide berth. But then the mists urge. The magician is powerful. he decides that he is not prepared for this, and retreats. It is not time to confront whatever that magic circle is. Magical circles are very dangerous. Perhaps he should notice a thief. He decides to see if perhaps the thieves can assist him in opening that locked chest. Just to see. Unfortunately, he cannot get into the Thieves' Guild. And the thieves... Well, it looks like he's much more talkative now. Adol decides that he needs to get some better equipment and options, especially if he thinks he'll stand a chance against that creature in the magic circle. But, fearing the Zeppic village might eventually get attacked despite their bell, he decides to take further action against the monsters in this area. And also take a look around. Yes, they mentioned another bandit. Adel considers this. Is it the Thieves' Guild, or is it this mysterious bandit which has nothing to do with them? At least, that is what they claim. Adel realizing that he had yet to talk to the mayor of the village, enters the mayor's home to take a look. They introduce each other, him as Adel and the mayor as Mayor Robbins. He mentions that he's from the outside and is a traveling swordsman. But that yes, he was rescued in Barbados, and that he knows Dr. Blueday. And that's when the mayor decides to tell Adel something he hasn't not yet told the other villagers. Adel considers for a moment, but then says yes. 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 So the bell is missing. That is indeed very concerning. Alex must consider. The shrine is next to the Thieves' Den. They have the silver bells. Apparently, the mayor needs it back. What to do, what to do.